There's a pattern in history that has destroyed 3 alternative currency systems in the last 900 years. And right now in 2025, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are following that exact same pattern stage by stage, restriction by restriction, almost like governments are reading from a playbook written in medieval England. In 1100, England created wooden tally sticks as currency. They worked for 700 years. No inflation, no debt crisis, complete stability. The government destroyed them in 1826 and forced everyone onto banknotes. In 1750, the American colonies printed their own money. Colonial Scrip. The economy boomed. Unemployment disappeared. Britain banned it in 1764, and the colonies descended into depression within 2 years. In 2009, Bitcoin emerged as digital currency outside government control. By 2025, every major economy is building the infrastructure to ban it, replace it, and restore the monopoly. 3 times. 3 alternative currencies. 3 complete destructions, all following the exact same 4-stage sequence. And here's what should terrify you. Cryptocurrency has already entered stage 3. We're not approaching the ban. We're watching it execute in real time. This is the story of how governments kill alternative currencies, why they always use the same method, and why the math says Bitcoin is next. And it's happening faster than the crypto community wants to admit. Before we go through the pattern, you need to understand what alternative currency actually means. Not some theoretical economics concept, what it means in practice when people stop using government money. Alternative currency is any medium of exchange that people accept voluntarily without government force. Not because a law says you must accept it. Because it works. Because it holds value. Because people trust it more than the official currency. And that's the threat. When people prefer alternative currency, they're saying the government money is failing. They're voting with their transactions. They're rejecting the official system. And governments cannot allow that. Because money isn't just currency. It's control. When government controls the currency, it controls everything. It can tax through inflation. It can track every transaction. It can freeze accounts. It can punish enemies. It can fund wars without asking permission. Alternative currency breaks that control. And every government in history has destroyed it the moment it became a threat. Let's look at how it actually happened 3 times the exact same way. Let's start with the first successful alternative currency in recorded history. England, 1100 to 1826. The wooden tally stick. In 1100, England had a problem. There wasn't enough gold and silver in circulation. The economy needed currency, but precious metals were scarce. Imports were expensive. Mining was limited. The shortage was strangling trade. King Henry I created a solution. The tally stick. Here's how it worked. The stick was made of wood, usually willow or hazel. When the government needed to spend money, they took a stick and carved notches into it. Each notch represented value. A large notch was 1,000 pounds. A smaller notch was 100 pounds. Tiny notches were pounds and shillings. After carving the notches, they split the stick lengthwise. 1/2 went to the person receiving the payment. That was the stock, the proof of value. The other half stayed with the government. That was the foil, the record of issuance. The 2 halves matched perfectly. You couldn't forge them. The wood grain was unique. If someone tried to fake a tally stick, the 2 halves wouldn't align. It was impossible to counterfeit. And here's the critical detail that made this alternative currency work. The government accepted tally sticks for tax payment. If you owed taxes, you could pay with a tally stick instead of gold or silver. That gave them real value. Not because the king said so, because they extinguished tax debt. Stage 1 of every alternative currency. It solves a real problem. In this case, the shortage of precious metals. By 1150, tally sticks were circulating across England. Merchants accepted them. Peasants used them. The landed gentry paid wages with them. The economy expanded. And for 700 years, this system worked. 7 centuries of monetary stability. No hyperinflation. No currency collapse. No debt spiral. Why? Because the government couldn't print unlimited tally sticks. Each stick represented a specific government debt. If they issued too many, taxes would be paid with sticks and the treasury would receive no gold. They were self-limiting. The system had built-in discipline. But alternative currencies always threatened someone's power. And in England, that someone was the banking system. By the 1600s, private banks were issuing paper notes. They wanted a monopoly on currency. They wanted to lend at interest. They wanted control. Tally sticks competed with their notes. As long as people could use sticks for taxes, they didn't need bank loans. The banks lobbied Parliament for decades. Finally, in 1783, the government started phasing out tally sticks. By 1826, they were officially discontinued. The government declared that only banknotes and coins would be accepted for taxes. Every tally stick in circulation became worthless overnight. The people holding them lost everything. The government collected the sticks and burned them. In 1834, they burned so many in the furnaces of Parliament that the building caught fire. The Palace of Westminster burned to the ground. Poetic justice, but the damage was done. The alternative currency was dead. The banks had won. England was forced onto a system of debt-based currency. Paper notes backed by nothing but promises. And the 700-year period of monetary stability ended. Within 100 years, England would face multiple financial crises, currency devaluations, and debt explosions. But the banks were in control. That was all that mattered. Let's jump forward 650 years. The American colonies, 1690 to 1764. This is the second test of the pattern. In 1690, the American colonies faced the same problem medieval England had. Not enough currency. The colonies were supposed to use British pounds, but Britain deliberately kept gold and silver scarce in America. They wanted the colonies dependent. Raw materials flowed to England. Manufactured goods flowed back. But currency stayed in Britain. The shortage was so severe that colonists resorted to barter. Trading furs for tools. Corn for cloth. An economy can't grow on barter. It's too inefficient. The colonies needed currency. So they created their own. Colonial Scrip. Each colony printed its own notes. Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Virginia, New York. The notes were backed by future tax revenue. The government would accept them for tax payment. That gave them value. Exactly like English tally sticks 600 years earlier. And here's what happened next. Stage 1, it solved the problem. By 1750, Colonial Scrip was circulating widely. The economy boomed. Benjamin Franklin himself wrote about it. He visited England in 1763 and was asked why the colonies were so prosperous. His answer is in the historical record. Quote, "That is simple. In the colonies, we issue our own money. It is called colonial scrip. We issue it in proper proportion to the demands of trade and industry to make the products pass easily from the producers to the consumers. In this manner, creating for ourselves our own paper money, we control its purchasing power, and we have no interest to pay to no one." End quote. No interest to pay. That's the key. Colonial scrip wasn't borrowed from banks. It was issued directly by colonial governments. No debt. No interest. The people kept the full value of their labor. Unemployment in the colonies was estimated at less than 2%. In England at the same time, unemployment was over 25%. The difference was the currency system. But alternative currency always threatens the banks. And in 1764, the Bank of England saw the threat. The colonies were too independent. Too prosperous. If they could issue their own currency, they didn't need British banks. They didn't need British loans. They didn't need British control. Parliament passed the Currency Act of 1764. It banned the colonies from issuing their own money. Colonial scrip was declared illegal. Only British pounds could be used. The effect was immediate. The currency supply collapsed. Business contracted. Unemployment exploded. Within 2 years, the colonies were in a depression. Benjamin Franklin was in London when the Currency Act passed. He later wrote, quote, "The colonies would gladly have borne the little tax on tea and other matters had it not been that England took away from the colonies their money, which created unemployment and dissatisfaction." End quote. That's not what they teach in schools. The textbooks say the American Revolution was about tea taxes. Franklin, who was there, said it was about currency. The Currency Act destroyed the colonial economy. The revolution started 11 years later. Not a coincidence. Stage 2 of the pattern. The alternative currency is banned. Stage 3 always follows. The official currency is forced on everyone. After the revolution, the United States created its own currency. But not Colonial Scrip. That lesson was forgotten. Instead, the new government authorized private banks to issue money. The first Bank of the United States in 1791. The second bank in 1816. By 1913, the Federal Reserve. All private banking systems. All issuing currency at interest. The alternative currency was dead. The debt-based system was restored. And the cycle continued. By 2025, the United States owes $36 trillion. The system Colonial Scrip avoided. The system England's tally sticks prevented. Gone. Destroyed. Replaced by debt. Now let's look at the modern example. Bitcoin, 2009 to 2025. This is the third test, and it's happening right now. In 2009, an anonymous creator using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper. Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The timing wasn't random. 2009 was right after the 2008 financial crisis. The banks had collapsed. Governments had bailed them out with trillions in printed money. People saw the corruption. They saw the inflation. They saw that the official currency system was rigged. Bitcoin offered an alternative. A digital currency with a fixed supply. 21 million coins maximum. No central bank. No government control. No one could print more. No one could freeze your account. The code was the law. And here's the critical detail. Bitcoin solved the real problem. Stage 1 of the pattern. In 2008, trust in banks and governments was at an all-time low. People wanted currency outside the system. Bitcoin provided it. By 2011, Bitcoin was worth $1. By 2013, $100. By 2017, $20,000. By 2021, $69,000. The growth was exponential. Not because of speculation, because it worked. You could send value anywhere in the world. No bank needed. No permission required. No government able to stop it. By 2025, over 400 million people own cryptocurrency. That's 5% of the global population. Bitcoin's market cap is over $2 trillion. Ethereum, Solana, and thousands of other cryptocurrencies add trillions more. This isn't a fringe technology anymore. It's a parallel financial system. And just like tally sticks in 1800 and Colonial Scrip in 1764, it threatens the official system. Because when people use Bitcoin, governments lose control. They can't inflate it. They can't freeze it. They can't track it completely. They can't tax it easily. And most importantly, they can't force you to use their currency instead. Stage 2 of the pattern is starting right now. The ban is being prepared. Not all at once, gradually. Let me show you the mechanism they're using. In 2013, China banned Bitcoin trading. Then allowed it. Then banned it again in 2021. Permanent ban. All exchanges closed. All mining forbidden. 20% of Bitcoin's hash rate disappeared overnight. In 2022, the European Union passed the Markets in Crypto-Assets Regulation (MiCA). It requires all crypto companies to register. All transactions above €1,000 must be reported. Anonymous transactions are illegal. KYC, Know Your Customer, is mandatory. In 2023, the United States SEC started declaring every major cryptocurrency except Bitcoin a security. Securities require registration. Registration requires compliance. Compliance requires revealing everything. The anonymity is gone. In 2024, the IMF published a policy paper. Regulating Crypto, the Path Forward. The recommendations are clear. Global coordination, licensing requirements, transaction limits, and most importantly, the promotion of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, as the alternative to crypto. Here's what CBDCs actually are: government-issued digital currency. Not decentralized like Bitcoin. Not private. Not outside the system. Completely controlled. Every transaction tracked. Every wallet monitored. Governments can freeze funds instantly. They can set expiration dates on money. They can limit what you buy. They can enforce negative interest rates. They can confiscate with a keystroke. China launched the digital yuan in 2020. It's already used by 260 million people. The European Central Bank is testing the digital euro. Launch plan for 2025. The Federal Reserve is developing a digital dollar. Pilot programs are running. And here's the pattern completing. Stage 3. Offer the official alternative. Make it easy. Make it legal. Make it convenient. Then Stage 4. Ban the alternative currency. Not immediately. First, regulate it to death. Make it illegal to use for normal transactions. Require reporting on everything. Tax every conversion. Make it too difficult for regular people. Then ban it completely for everyone except the wealthy who can hide it offshore. The excuse is always the same: money laundering, terrorism, tax evasion, protecting consumers. The real reason is always the same: restoring government control. Let's look at the mechanism in detail. How governments kill alternative currencies. Because it's the same method every time. Step 1. Ignore it while it's small. Tally sticks in 1100, nobody cared. Colonial Scrip before 1750, ignored. Bitcoin before 2013, called a joke. As long as alternative currency is niche, it's not a threat. Step 2. Acknowledge it exists. By 1700, tally sticks were everywhere. By 1760, Colonial Scrip dominated. By 2020, Bitcoin was worth $30,000. At this stage, governments start warning people. It's risky. It's volatile. It might collapse. Don't put your savings in it. The message is concern, not control. Not yet. Step 3. Regulate selectively. By 1780, England required tally sticks to be recorded. By 1763, Britain restricted colonial scrip issuance. By 2023, every crypto exchange requires identity verification. The regulations are always framed as protection. We're making it safer. We're preventing fraud. We're establishing legitimacy. But the real effect is tracking. Once you know who owns what, you can control it. Step 4. Offer the official alternative. By 1820, England was promoting banknotes over tally sticks. After 1764, Britain pushed pounds in the colonies. By 2025, every major government is launching CBDCs. The official version is always presented as better, more stable, more secure, more convenient, government-backed. And here's the psychology they use. They don't ban the alternative currency immediately. That would cause resistance. Instead, they make the official currency easier to use. Lower fees for CBDCs, tax breaks for using them, government salaries paid in them, welfare payments in them. Eventually, most people switch voluntarily. Not because they want to, because it's easier. Step 5. Restrict the alternative. Once the official currency is established, restrictions on the alternative begin. Maximum transaction sizes. Mandatory reporting above certain amounts. Special license is required to accept it. Bans on using it for specific purposes. Each restriction is small. Each one is justified. Each one makes the alternative currency less useful. And Step 6. Complete ban. When adoption is low enough, when most people are using the official currency, the ban comes. The excuse is always ready. The alternative currency is used by criminals. It threatens monetary stability. It evades taxes. It must be eliminated for the public good. And by that point, most people don't care. They're already using the official currency. The alternative is banned. Government monopoly is restored. This isn't theory. This is documented pattern across 900 years. Let me show you the timeline for each example. Tally sticks. Stage 1, 1100 to 1600. Solving the problem, 500 years of use. Stage 2, 1600 to 1780. Ignore while small, it's established. Stage 3, 1780 to 1800. Regulate selectively, recording requirements. Stage 4, 1800 to 1820. Offer alternative, banknotes promoted. Stage 5, 1820 to 1826. Restrict the alternative, limited tax acceptance. Stage 6, 1826. Complete ban, tally sticks illegal. Colonial Scrip. Stage 1, 1690 to 1750. Solving the problem, 60 years of use. Stage 2, 1750 to 1760. Ignore while small, it's established. Stage 3, 1760 to 1764. Regulate selectively, restrictions on issuance. Stage 4, 1764. Offer alternative, British pounds required. Stage 5, 1764. Restrict the alternative, scrip illegal for taxes. Stage 6, 1764. Complete ban, scrip completely outlawed. The colonial cycle happened faster. Only 74 years from launch to ban. Because Britain learned from England's experience. They knew the pattern. Now Bitcoin. Stage 1, 2009 to 2013. Solving the problem, post-crisis alternative. Stage 2, 2013 to 2017. Ignore while small, it's a curiosity. Stage 3, 2017 to 2023. Regulate selectively, KYC requirements, exchange regulations. Stage 4, 2023 to 2025. Offer alternative, CBDCs launching globally. Stage 5, 2025 to 2030. Restrict the alternative, this is happening right now. Transaction limits, reporting requirements, selective bans. Stage 6, 2030 to 2035. Complete ban, likely within 10 years. We're at Stage 5. Moving into Stage 6. And it's happening faster than tally sticks or colonial scrip because governments are coordinating globally. The Bank for International Settlements, the BIS in Basel, Switzerland, is coordinating central bank policy. The Financial Action Task Force, FATF, is setting global crypto regulations. The IMF is providing the policy framework. The G20 is enforcing compliance. This isn't individual countries acting independently. This is global coordination to eliminate the alternative. Here's the evidence. In March 2024, the FATF updated its guidance on virtual assets. Quote, countries should ensure that virtual asset service providers are regulated for anti-money laundering purposes and that they can share information with authorities. End quote. That means every crypto exchange must report to governments. Every transaction must be trackable. In June 2024, the BIS published a report. Future Monetary System. The conclusion. Quote, central bank digital currencies represent a superior form of digital money compared to cryptocurrencies. End quote. They're not hiding it. They're openly saying CBDCs should replace crypto. In September 2024, the IMF published a working paper. Crypto Risks and Regulation. The recommendation? Quote, countries should consider comprehensive bans on cryptocurrency trading and mining where regulatory capacity is limited. End quote. Comprehensive bans. Not regulation, elimination. And in November 2024, the European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde gave a speech. she said, and this is a direct quote. Unbacked crypto assets are highly volatile and risky. They should not be considered a legitimate form of money. Central bank digital currencies offer a safe, efficient, and programmable alternative. Programmable. That's the key word. Programmable money means the government decides what you can buy. They can set expiration dates. Use it or lose it. They can restrict purchases. No guns. No protest funding. No unapproved political donations. They can enforce negative interest rates. Your money shrinks automatically. They can implement social credit. Wrong behavior, wallet frozen. This isn't conspiracy. China's digital yuan already has these features. The European digital euro is being designed with them. The US digital dollar will have them. And once CBDCs are established, cryptocurrency will be banned completely. Because governments will claim no legitimate reason to use it. If you want digital currency, use the CBDC. If you want privacy, too bad. Privacy enables crime. You don't need privacy unless you're doing something wrong. That will be the argument. And most people will accept it. Because most people always accept authority. Most people prefer convenience to freedom. Most people don't understand what they're losing until it's gone. But here's what makes the Bitcoin case different from tally sticks and Colonial Scrip. Those were physical or centralized. Tally sticks could be collected and burned. Colonial Scrip could be declared illegal and the printing stopped. Bitcoin is decentralized. There's no central server to shut down. No company to raid. No leader to arrest. Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared in 2011. Nobody knows who he is. The code is open source. The network is distributed across 15,000 nodes in 100 countries. To kill Bitcoin, you'd have to shut down the internet globally. Possible, but expensive. Governments know this. So they're not trying to destroy the network. They're trying to make it illegal to convert Bitcoin to official currency. If you can't trade Bitcoin for dollars, euros, or yuan, it becomes useless for most people. You can't pay rent with Bitcoin. You can't buy groceries. You can't pay taxes. It becomes worthless. And that's the strategy. Stage 5 restrictions. Make it illegal for banks to process crypto transactions. Make it illegal for businesses to accept it. Make it illegal to advertise exchanges. Make it a crime to help someone buy it. Don't destroy the network. Destroy the on-ramps and off-ramps. Quarantine it. Let it exist, but make it unusable. And then stage 6. Declare that anyone still using it is a criminal. Money launderer, tax evader, enemy of the state. At that point, only the hardcore believers continue. Everyone else switches to CBDCs. Government monopoly restored. The timeline is accelerating. Tally sticks took 726 years from creation to ban. Colonial Scrip took 74 years. Bitcoin will take less than 30. From 2009 to 2035. Maybe sooner. Why? Because governments are coordinating. Because the technology makes tracking easier. Because the official alternative, CBDCs, is ready. And because the threat is existential. If cryptocurrency wins, governments lose their primary tool of control. They can't inflate. They can't confiscate. They can't freeze. They can't track. They can't enforce. Money is power. And they will not give up that power voluntarily. They didn't in 1826 with tally sticks. They didn't in 1764 with Colonial Scrip. They won't in 2025 with Bitcoin. 3 times. 3 alternative currencies. 3 complete destructions. All following the exact same 6-stage pattern. Ignore, acknowledge, regulate, offer alternative, restrict, ban. And right now, Bitcoin is at stage 5 moving to stage 6. The regulations are tightening. The CBDCs are launching. The restrictions are being prepared. Most people don't see it. They think Bitcoin is too big to ban. They think governments won't dare. They think decentralization makes it invincible. That's what people thought about tally sticks after 700 years of use. That's what colonists thought about scrip before the Currency Act. They were wrong. Power doesn't negotiate with alternatives. It destroys them. And this time, the destruction will be faster, more coordinated, and more complete than ever before. Because governments learn from history. They know the pattern. And they're executing it perfectly. The question isn't if Bitcoin will be banned. The question is when, and whether anyone will notice before it's too late.